Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf, and I'm here with Lance Stinson.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
All right, so I have a ton of stuff to talk to you about. You've been a very, very, very busy man, and when I saw you at CMA Fest, we got to talk a little bit, and I was having camera difficulties, and we were laughing a lot, and it was great. And I haven't gotten that video posted yet. It's like a big, huge CMA Fest video montage, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't get to talk to you about, and I'm just so excited. So I want to start with your background. Now, you're from Georgia, right?
I am.
So was it Southern Georgia that you're from?
Yeah, I'm from South Georgia. I'm from a little small town called Lumber City, Georgia. It's kind of mid-south, I guess people call it, but it's still south for us. I mean, it's just a little small knit community. My family has a restaurant there. It's been there for 35 years, and it's kind of like everybody's a big family in town there. And it just kind of give me those roots of working hard and and working with everyone else to succeed at what you're trying to do. It takes a lot of folks. It's not just one person, that's for sure.
Right. Now, I know when I read your bio, there was something that stood out to me because not a lot of people talk about it anymore, but your dad had a 79 Ford truck with an 8-track player. And I used to ride in my dad's truck with him, and we used to listen to the 8-track, and it was always, Kenny Rogers and Neil Diamond and stuff like that. So I really appreciated that, and I wanted to learn more about that. What was music for you at a young age, listening to it?
Well, when I was a kid, my dad was a big fan of like Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings and all the old stuff, Don Williams and stuff like that. I grew up listening to that with him. And then I got 4 older brothers, and 2 of them are 14 years older than me. And I had to ride to school with them every morning, and it was all the 80s hair band. So I got a little bit of a mix from good classic country and the 80s hair band. So and I guess that's kind of where we kind of got I always kind of drew those influences out when we started writing our own music and stuff.
Right.
And, for our first album and our second album we're working on, you can really see the influences of the different genres of music there. It's still country, but it's just got a little bit of a Southern rock kind of edge to it. That's why I call it kicking teeth country. It'll make you want to listen for sure.
Absolutely. I know when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, he calls it kicking the teeth country. That is amazing and unique and so awesome. And I'm so glad you mentioned that right now.
Well, it was one of those things when I was doing an interview and somebody was like, if you had to sum up your music in just a few words, what would you say? Your style. And I'm like, kicking your teeth kind of country. And I mean, it just kind of come out and it's just kind of stuck. And that's probably been 4 or 5 years ago when I said that.
That's awesome.
And it's one of those things, but it kind of, describes the music that, we're playing and stuff like that. It's high energy. We want to have fun, and we want, and we want you to have fun at the shows, and that's what it's all about. Or listen to our music on your phone or your car or whatever.
Right. Well, I was rocking out to a lot of your songs earlier today as I was writing down some of my questions for you. So you definitely have a lot of energy. Your stage presence is phenomenal. The engaging fans, you have so many fans, and the relationship you have with them is, to me, is just so incredible. I watch you respond to them all on your social media, and it's just they absolutely love you, and they wear your shirts all the time. And I saw a picture of 3 women, and you have a Hold My Beer shirt, and they were all pink, and it had the definition of nurse on the back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that shirt. But it's awesome. I love it. Everybody loves you.
Well, we've just been blessed, and I have a lot of other, artists, songwriters ask me, how you doing this and that and the other, and I'm like, guys, I'm not going to take all the credit because it's a team effort. I mean, it takes everybody from the guys in the band to like Kelly that books the stuff for us and Dries that works behind the scenes for us. I mean, it's just a whole group effort. I mean, you may just see my name out there, but it's kind of like I was told when I was younger, and a fellow told me, if you ever see a turtle on top of a pole, just remember he didn't get there by himself, and he's going to come down sooner or later, so it takes a group effort, it's not just something, it's just not all about me, and I always say, when we're doing it, playing live or whatever, this is a new song on our new record. It's never been about just me, I mean, it just maybe my name and and I take influences from all of them. Like the guys in the band, I listen to their stories and then take stuff from them, and the fans on the road. I call them friends and family. I don't really call them fans, but
right.
And that's what we gravitate from. I just love that thing, and I've just been blessed to have people love my music and love us, and to want to follow and support us, and it's been a huge blessing.
Well, it's been impressive to see.
You've got to connect with them. I mean, if it takes if it's just a split second a day to talk with one or two or 10 of them or whatever,
right?
They don't deserve that. I mean, they're spending their hard-earned money to come out and listen to you, so they deserve a little bit of your time.
I love your outlook on that. Like I said, it just the relationship you've had with your fans has impressed me from the get-go, and I feel blessed to actually be able to talk to you and bring your story, to our magazine, because I think that more fans need to connect with you. You're definitely a great example of how musicians should be and how they should treat people, and I just absolutely love it. And I have to say, I was doing Twitter a little bit ago, and Earl the Pearl from Vidalia, Georgia radio station said hello. Wasn't sure if you saw that, but I wanted to give a little shout out because I thought that was pretty cool. So
him and Cole Younger are some guys that were local guys here years ago when I had my first record out, and we just didn't, we couldn't get the radio play, and stuff like that, and they were some of the first ones to ever pick up and play Hold My Beer, and with their help and then playing that song, and it got a lot of other stations that want to play it. So, I always give a shout out to them, to Cole Younger and Earl Pearl and John Coon and all those guys, for giving me the chance of even playing my music on their station, but they played it, and that's what kind of got us started, It's been about 7 years ago, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has, and without them, I would probably never, gotten that recognition that I did back then.
Well, that's great. Now, we talked a little bit about how busy you've been in 2015, and you have a second album coming out next month, right? Yep. Okay, so
we're just about finished with it. I know we've kind of had to push the date back a few times, and it's my fault, and I apologize for anything that are listening or reading your magazine article. But it's been one of those things where I want it to be as close to perfect as I can get it, because I know they're going to buy the whole album, and I want them to get their money's worth when they buy it. I don't want it to be, I could probably have already rushed it out 2 months ago, and it'd probably have been fine. But I'm just one of those. I'm kind of the guy that's producing my stuff. I told him when I first sat down and talked to him about what we want to record and stuff with him. He's like, "Well, I want to do it." I said, "Well, let me get this out of the way now." I'm not saying I'm hard to work with, but I'm real nitpicky when it comes to things, because I want it to be. I know what I want it to sound like.
Right.
I want it to be as close to that as we can get it, being perfect, because if they spending their hard-earned money that they work hard for, I want them to get their money's worth. I don't want them to, get inside the album and it has 4 or 5 great songs on it with, 6 or 7 okay songs. I want them to put it in and listen to every one of them and love them. That's what I wanted this album to be about.
Absolutely, and I have no doubt that that's, part of the reason why you were, invited to the Bristol Motor Speedway, August of 2014 to play. I mean, it's a huge show.
Those guys really have just, I call them family. I mean, they just took me in out there, and they gave me an opportunity to do it, last year, and then this past year they invited me back, and it looks like we're going to do it next year so far. And I'm telling you, those guys over there are just, and girls are great people. The Bristol Motor Speedway group is phenomenal people. I mean, they have, they're just easy to work with and stuff like that, and it's just one of those things. And the fans there are just incredible. People drive, from states away to come over and see us. But we had some fans drive from Virginia to Bristol, which is, it doesn't seem like that far, but it was a good 2-hour drive. And, and then we had some that drove from Ohio to come down there, and that is a long way. And, it's about 14 hours. And, it's just one of those things that, I think it's just the one-on-one times, at the shows when I'm doing my show, I love to talk to them. I mean, I'm not one of those that's going to go jump back on the bus or go back to the hotel. If you want to hang out and talk, I want to hang out and talk with you.
Absolutely.
I feel like, because without them, I'd be flipping burgers at McDonald's or something.
Right. Definitely. So shout out to McDonald's, though. We love McDonald's. And you know what? You have a lot of new endorsements that I've seen in the last, I mean.
We have, and I've got a few more that we're working with and trying to work out some details with. But this year is going to be, I think, a very explosive year for us. We have so far it looks like we're going to have a slam year. I mean, we're right now pushed out all the way pretty much 3/4 of the year already with those pushed out, and it's just one of those things. It's just been a blessing, and anytime we can go somewhere and share music with people that's never heard us live before, I mean, there's lots of our fans that's never ever seen us really play live, and here recently, we went to Ohio and we done shows this past year and 5 shows in the Massachusetts area, to play for people that we've been fans and friends with for years, to finally get to see us, and it's just been a blessing.
That's awesome.
That's for sure. And we're looking forward to continuing that track, next year, and it going out further and further, and we're really looking forward to next year. I really am too.
Well, I was looking at your tour schedule, and I'm like, wow, he has already got so many dates booked. I mean, February next year, and then December, you're doing the cruise, the Carnival Country Cruise. I'm like,
we are.
I'm like, wow, like you just there's something on your calendar every month, and it's great.
It's gonna be a very interesting year, to say the least, I'm sure. And I'm just ready to get the new music out. I know a lot of my fans have been chomping at the bits for it, and I promise you it's coming. It's just it's kind of one of those things. This album is going to be a lot more personal, side of me on some of the songs and stuff like that, and it's just something that I want to share with them, and so they can get the whole, background and stuff behind me, and I'm writing songs about stuff that I believe in and that I've been through and stuff like that. That I think they'll be able to really put a few more pieces together, get to know me a little more than they actually do.
Right. And that's when I was listening to your songs, I like the stories in your songs, and Taillights and Dust is one of my favorites. I love Taillights and Dust. So
I'm a big story guy, Whiskey. I can't take the credit for that one because I didn't write it. I wish I had. But a couple of good friends of mine, Rick Tiger and Mindy Campbell, which is Craig Campbell's wife, wrote that song, and it actually I had heard that song before I'd done my first album, and it just kind of didn't. It was, we were already done, and I was with the label, and they were like, no, we're not. We were done. This album's done. Blah blah. So it kind of got to the wayside for a few years, and then when we started working on this new record, I was like, you know what? And it come back up, and the song did. Actually, I went and Rick called me, and he wanted me to do I do a demo vocal for him for his publishing company for the songwriting, and I'm like, dude, I'll be glad to do it. I won't ever done it. I'm like, man, I just fell in love with that song all over again. I think I'm going to cut that one. And
okay.
And that song, I can relate to that song, because everybody's been in bad relationships, or good ones and bad ones and whatever. So I think everybody can relate to that song, and I think that's why that song works so well with us, especially when we play live. Everybody, can find a part of their life that fits in.
Right.
And it's just one of those. It's a story song and I love those songs. And I'm all about those songs.
Absolutely. Well, and when people relate to a song, and it just it just does something different to them. To the song.
I've been real good about not saying being relatable. I can't even say it. Relatable songs to the people out there. Because I've been doing interviews about this album, for the last few months, and one time I said it like 27 times or something in a 20-minute interview. But anyway, and. But that's the part of I'm saying I'm being a little nitpicky. I'm writing music and I'm finding stuff and we're changing things and stuff because I want this album's going to be probably the most relatable music that people have probably heard in the last 15 years. That's the way I feel about it.
Okay.
Every song has something in there that somebody can relate to.
Right.
It's going to be on this new record, and it's. Whether if you're just a fun, happy-go-lucky person, there's a song or two on this album for you. Or if you're down in the dumps, there's going to be one of those songs in there for you too. And it's just going to be very relatable. And that's the music that I want to keep playing, and because that's what's working for me. Not for saying it works for everybody, on stuff, but it works for us, man, because that's the whole approach to it that I am. And I write music because, when I listen to music, I remember back in the old days when I listened to stuff from my dad, all that stuff was talking about stories, stuff they've lived, they've been through, or whatever. And I guess that's why I write the stuff that I've been writing for this record is that way, because I'm going back to my old roots and I'm listening to stuff and stories off the old records that my dad used to make me listen to, the 8-track players. But
right.
And it's just relatable music, man. I think you have to do that. You know, that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, fans definitely want to connect to the artist. So when there's a song that can connect them to their artist, it just does something to them, and they become loyal. And you know, it's a great thing to see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of artists that I have connected to, you know, that I feel blessed to actually have their story in my life, and I'm able to relate to it. So it's a really good thing. And I'm glad that you're working so hard on this album, and you know what you want, and that you're not going to settle for doing it less just to get something out there. I think that's really, really awesome.
You know, and to me, you know, that's the whole point. I don't want to be, I mean, I'm sure the album 2 months ago would have been great. It would have been fine. It would have probably been no problem. But there's a couple of songs that I've got written and I've gotten cut since then that would have been on this album, and I'm so glad that they didn't put the album out there. And because, you know, it's been a whole other probably 2 years before I got to put them for people to be able to hear those songs, the one I'm talking about. And you know, I've got a song called Relentless that I think it may not be the best song in the world, but to me, it's just one of those songs that's just real. I believe, you know, because I know the whole story behind it. You know, a friend of mine had started writing the song and this, that, and the other, and then took it up to Nashville and finished writing it with some friends of mine, and we all three kind of put our little different stories and twist on it. And you know, when I took it to Nashville, we was like, you know, he was telling me about his sister-in-law that got killed in Iraq, you know, years ago in the war, and I'm like, you know, that's what this song needs to be about, you know. And he's talking about how his brother, you know, still loves her relentlessly. And I'm like, there's the song. That's it right there. There it is right there. So we kind of took it and completely changed that song completely from what it was originally, how me and Lee were writing it. And I think he was a little bit nervous to start with because he wasn't in Nashville when we finished it or whatever. And when he first heard it at a live show, because he's from Georgia here too, and I think he's really digged it now. I think he was a little worried to start with, but it's one of those songs, you know. It's you know. It's a great song. It's one of those great love songs. You can take it a lot of different ways, you know. I mean, in the song, we're not actually saying that she died or anything, you know. He just, you know, basically saying how much he loves her and he loves her relentlessly, and that's what the song's about. I mean, you can take it all different ways. So you can relate to it in probably 10 different ways if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Wow, that's pretty great. I love to hear stories like that. So, and you know, give the fans a little insight.
Yeah, that's the one song I'm really, really excited about. I'm really excited about that song.
Well, we're definitely gonna have to watch that. Now you have a copy of that or a video of that.
Yeah, there's actually
YouTube,
a video
right?
on it. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, there's a video of it. Yeah, if anybody wants to go check it out before it comes out, yeah, there's actually a little live video of it when we were playing in Boston. Yeah.
Well, I will make sure that I actually include that in our article. That way, you know, they have easy access to your videos there as well. So, well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I look forward to your album coming out. What is the name of your second album?
Well, Relentless would be the name of the album.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't have that written down, but okay, good to know. So, all right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Lance. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I'll let you know. Oh, go ahead.
I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem at all. I will let you know as soon as we get this out, and you know, that way all of your fans can listen to it. And I'm just so excited that I got to talk to you finally, and we're not all crazy busy and tired from CMA Fest.
I'm glad you thought about me. I appreciate you doing it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you take care, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.